It's as simple as that, people. And it's time that you opened not just your eyes, because you can all see what's going on here, but your mind, and start to minister yourself accordingly. Now here we have a very prolific solution, and it's very simple. You need to know the law. There is no ignorance under the law. Those police officers that are standing around you are actually there, ready to coerce you to commit an act of fraud. The fraud is the minute that they ask you, what is your name? They are guilty of trying to coerce you to grant all of your rights away and to consent to be subject to their acts and statutes. Now, because an act of fraud is required in order for their legal system to initiate, there is no legal remedy to be had from anything that has its origins based in such a fraud. Adding to the ministration of the law is unlawful. So all administrative codes, ecclesiastical law, canon law, trade law, mercantile law, all of those things, all the way down through common law, all the way down to contract law, you are actually breaking the divine, what they would call the divine contract that you have with the Creator. Universal law is an unwritten law. It exists in every single one of your cells. It resonates in harmony with the rest of the cells, that it coexists in this experience of so-called reality together. And that is what we stand in and are made from. At no point is there any suggestion that you are obliged to contract with a system that would then use your planet and its share and your share of its resources to commit terrorist attacks in your name, called medicine, chemical warfare. We've got the Biomedical Institute sitting in Cambridge, that if it was in Afghanistan or Iraq, it would have already been nuked by now because of the disgusting terrorist practices that have been continuated there. This company, AstraZeneca, is the parent company of the company that brought you DDT, that was responsible single-handedly for contaminating and polluting our food chain supply by dumping millions and millions of litres of this stuff into the sea. And you are standing around waiting for somebody else to come along and rescue you. It is you. You are responsible for all that you see. You are responsible that this private corporation, once known as HM Government, that has now been secured by Universal Law Community Trust, using universal law and its standing and associating itself with being able to secure all of the collateral that was once claimed by this private corporation, namely you, and put it back into the hands of the people. Now you are obliged under the law to prevent a crime from being enacted. So take a look around you. Pinpoint one of these individuals who's wearing a magic uniform that think that they can force their commercial code upon you and arrest them. They are impersonating police officers. That's 7 years in prison. But if the law is not being upheld in your community, it's only yourselves that you have to blame. You are sucking up this spewed out media bullshit that says that you have got some corporation who has an authority over you, when that authority is yours, and you either grant it away or you reserve your rights. You have got a right to contract. You have a right, therefore, to not contract. Do you really want to continue contracting with a private corporation who has taken your trust and turned it into a private corporation, seizing your assets, collateral, children, the rights of use of your property, and under the name of a so-called debt equity swap, using something called Uniform Commercial Code and its equivalent to do so. So if you're going to go along with the presumption and assumption that somebody can come along and steal your right of use of your house for a debt that was secured on it, then you need to know that it can be done back to them.